Hello people, this is SPR Tungsten right there, and today I have props, and the whole thing is I'm trying to sell you a product I would like for you to buy or at least consider, and I'm going to kind of give you a little bit. This may be a 5-minute or a 10-minute video, I just don't know, but I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit behind why I made it, what I think it's good for, etc. Things I've done to get to this point, kind of my inspirations and stuff. So if you want to know a little bit more about the Aaron 1, which is the model we're selling, this is what you're going to get. This is as much as I think I can tell you about why I made this knife sharpener, package opener, file, honer, scraper. It does a bunch of stuff for as simple as it is. And again, we're retailing them for, I think it's $90 on our website, SPRTUNGSTEN.com. And then we're also on Etsy. I'll put a little link up in the description or whatever. I'm not real good at making videos, and I'm a one-man operation based out of Ohio. So this is a totally American-made product. Although I don't source the tungsten from America because you can't. So let me show you what I've dealt with in the past. So I have used, I ended up with, this is a diamond board, and I'm looking around trying to find my stuff. This is a picture of my dog. We're gonna cut that up here in a minute. This is your typical super cheap grinding stone, honing stone, sharpening stone. And as you can see, I got this from, I think this came from my dad. I don't know, my dad or my uncle. Regardless, or brother-in-law maybe. This thing's well used, and it is just, it stood the test of time. I'm not even joking. Like, people complain about these things, but you know what? Everything I'm going to show you absolutely 100% works. I'm not saying it's a worse product. I'm not saying it's a horrible product. They're actually really good products, and they work for the purpose they're intended. Something like this, if you're at home or in your shop, like you got like a whetstone glued on back here, like a fine grit, and then you got this real coarse grit. I think this is what they call synthetic. This works great. Like, you can really rough out your blade or your tool or your lawnmower blade or whatever, or sand. You can use it for anything that you need something really rough for, and then you flip it over and you got a finer grit right here, and you use oil or water. I think this one I was using oil because that's what, like, the person who gave it to me said to use. And I mean, this whetstone, I believe, because look how tore up this is from years of just abuse. And then this much harder. This is a much finer 400. This I just got recently, but you can kind of see I got a flattening stone in there, but just using it a little bit and being pretty delicate and using water with it, which works perfect, it's getting gouges and stuff. And this wasn't super cheap. It was given to me, so I honestly don't know how much this cost either. I bought this on like Temu or AliExpress. This is ceramic, and I have just abused the living crap out of this, testing different things, and I think it cost about, I don't know, less than $10. And again, here's a 3000 and 8000 grit. They work great. But you don't have it with you. And here's a diamond plate I've had for about 2 years. It's 3000 grit, and I have put it through absolute hell. I've done oil, I've done water, I've done dry. I'm not joking. I'm really hard on my tools because I just need things done quick. That's a leveling stone. So with this is super coarse grit, which, I mean, you can use it for whatever you want. You could probably rough out your lawnmower blade or your knife blade, I guess, with it. But the idea is you're supposed to, when this gets all divoted and rough, you're supposed to take and rub that together, and then it flattens that out. So there's that. A little finer. This is something like 4000 or whatever. This is like a rouge stick, ruby. It's some sort of synthetic compound. I got this, I think, on AliExpress or Amazon, and it gives you a real nice like mirror hone, and it's very nice. It's just, again, it's not something I carry with me every day. All this stuff over here is stuff you really don't carry it with you. It's inconvenient. If you are at home and you have a very fancy, like a rod sharpening system, that's what you want to use. My product is not to replace any of those bigger products, but the things I have issue, and I even have like one of those little belt sander deals. I've used one of those, and I mean, they work fine, but again, you don't have it with you when you're out and about at a restaurant or working or whatever. You're not going to carry this in your pocket. Now, there, that's a good drop. We come to one of these. This is a quick sharp, or speed sharp, quick sharp, something like that. And I cut the rubber handle off of it because I wanted to just put it in my pocket and carry. And I did. I carried this thing around for like a year, and it works great. I have no complaints. My only small issues with it is I really like flat things, and this is a little wavy, and it comes out of the box that way. But you can just take and bend this guy, and I mean, I don't know what kind of steel this is, but again, they're not selling it based on this handle. What they're selling you is this little piece of magic right here. And I'm gonna try to get that up close to the camera. It's very, again, I've had it for 2-3 years, maybe a year, I can't remember. And it's this really bendy steel, and this little piece of tungsten, about, I don't know, 4 millimeters square, all sides. And then, you know, a little angle going on there, so a little bit of an edge. This is, they say, for sharpening and honing, and I never had much luck honing, and then even just using it, they're about $10. I think you can get a knockoff. You get like 4 for $7, and they're great for disposable purposes, but it's not something you kind of take pride in. It's not something you're like, hey, you know, you can sharpen with it. You can't really do much of anything else. Whereas I'm going to show you with my little product, you can do a bunch of stuff. And of course, that's the reason. But these are great. If you just want to sharpen a knife super fast and you don't care about burrs or rough edges and you're not worried about all that, this will put an edge on just about anything that you want to try to sharpen. Especially when you're not at your shop or whatever, when you're out and about. But again, it is a little bendy, but I guess it kind of will bend to your hand, so that's nice. But so the point is, you take your knife, and this is just something I have laying around the house. It's a Farberware. Really not a bad knife, but you take it and you put it there and you sharpen. And then they say for honing, you flip it around and you do it this way. And I'm like, oh, I don't. So there's a little. You can't really see it. My camera's not going to be good enough. Maybe you can. There's a little slight concave, right here and right here and right here, and then it's glued to this piece of metal. Or welded? I can't really tell. I don't know if you can. It's adhered somehow, but it's disposable. So my idea was, well, what if I take and I hone with this? And it's not impossible. It does kind of knock off a burr. But so you go through and you sharpen. You can hear that. It does a fine job. It does exactly. But when I sharpen, especially when I'm sharpening like my machete for my yard work or my lawnmower blades, or I thought it was funny because on their advertisement they have skates, and I never thought skates, but yeah, I guess you need to sharpen those. So we'll doll this up a little bit with this bad boy. So the point is, you put some pressure on it, you hit it at the right angle, about 20 degrees or so, and you just drag. And what this is going to do versus these stones is this is going to cut the metal, same as my tool. These are going to grind your metal, and that's it. So you need to get to an apex. You need to put an edge, like the tip of a triangle, and that's any blade or tool you want to sharpen. And you don't want it flat, you want it pokey, you want a nice apex. So, and then if you look at the commercial, the people hold it way back here, and then they do it so delicately, and I can't get any kind of love out of this tool, holding it that far back and doing it so delicately. Like, listen, I don't know. Okay, maybe not the best, but you get the idea. Here, this is a little tool bit. You can make a noise. So in their little video, they have, you know, a lady in the kitchen, and she's just very delicately doing it, and then they show you, and then magically it's sharp. But I wasn't a fan. So what I did is I made this guy. And how you open these if you get one is this is the little pouch it comes in, and I got it riveted and glued because I don't sew. And then so what you do is you take and you shove your thumb up through here, pull this guy out, because these little cuts, as you can see, line up with the rivets, which locks this piece of denim. This is just upcycled denim. Here's an actual product model. This is number 6 of the line, of the indefinite line. It's not 6 out of 200. It's 6 out of all I'm ever going to make. So if I end up making 43 million, this is number 6 out of 43 million. And you know, you got your basic information. You got sorry, wrong finger. You got my little name there. Let's see here, SPRTUNGSTEN, pure tungsten WC, which I got that wrong. It's tungsten carbide, and that's what the WC stands for. W is for tungsten, C is for carbide, obviously. I got this little lineup pattern, which I'm going to change to a QR code. But this was before I had the website, and then max temp, and then the model, and then the registration number, which is super, super important, because if you buy this thing, again, $90 isn't breaking the bank, but it's not cheap. It's definitely more expensive than this, but you can kind of tell the difference here. You buy this much, you buy this for $10 or $12 or $6 or $2, or it's all over the place. Then if you get a knockoff or a brand name, you pay for this piece of tungsten. This is all 100% tungsten. It's only tungsten, so it's brittle. I'm not gonna lie. If you drop this on cement, it's gonna shatter. As proof, here's mine. And I dropped it on cement, and it broke clean in half, but it could have shattered like glass. I was able to JB weld that bad boy back together, and it's not that I couldn't make another. This is the first one. I test everything out on this guy when it comes to these. That's why it looks rough, because I am laser etching on it, I am grinding on it, I am disassembling things with it, I am trying to cut new and adventurous things with it, so it's been refinished like 4 times. This is just what it comes as, yeah, so I'm getting better at the manufacturing process. This is the Chaos Grit. This is a file. So here's the difference. This is where mine's different than, say, this one or these over here. This is the Aaron one, and everything is a hard edge, and that's what does the cutting on the metal when you go to sharpen a knife. Everything is a hard edge, including this little scraper tool we ground in back here. It handles heat beautifully. Again, its functioning operating level is what I've researched is about 5,200 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we put a little blade up here. It's not really, it's a cutting thing. So it's got an edge here, an edge here, an edge here, and then you got a little edge here, and then you got an edge here for scraping. So what you do is you take and you hold it, and it's real, I got a normal 6-foot tall guy's hand. So you put your thumb here, you hold it, you have all this area to work with. And if that doesn't do it for you, flip it over. You keep sharpening. You got all this area. If that doesn't work for you, flip it over. You got all this area. So there's no designated handle. When you hold it, you can hold it in this manner. That's fine. It kind of cradles when you hold it that way. It fits in the palm of your hand. That's by design. When you hold it this way, it's just flat. But it, you know, it's, I believe this one's 3 millimeters thick. And then if you want to get kind of fine detail, you just, so you can use this cutting edge, which isn't going to dull, and get really into it. And then when you're done, you can take and hold it this way on this file, and you can actually hone. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is a tungsten, because it's all one solid piece of tungsten, guys. It's for honing your tool or grinding or filing your nails. It's a very fine grit. It's probably, if I had to guess, 3,000 to 4,000 grit, if you needed a comparison. It's very fine grit. You can totally polish, and you can do your nails with it. But I have issues with opening little packages when I'm watching a movie, so again, just you can slice open stuff with it pretty easy. What else? So this picture, you know, I'm not saying it replaces your pocket knife, but I'm carrying this around more than I do my pocket knife. So you can just say if you wanted to, I don't know, crop this. My dog Pete. It's a blurry photo, that's why I'm using it. You just, and we're not going to do a super fine job here, but you just cut with it. You cannot cut with your grinding stone. You cannot cut. I don't know where I put the doohickey, the speed sharp. I put it somewhere. Oh, here it is. You cannot cut, well, maybe you can. I don't, no, not, maybe, yeah, not nice. But that's a lot of effort. Anyways, so, yeah, but you can just, well, I mean, it's not, you can hone these, which is the neat thing. If you have a diamond, you gotta use diamond, guys. If you have a diamond plate, you can hone this and refine this edge as much as you want, and refine these edges as much as you want. If you get a little nick, or I don't know, a little nick, and if you want to sharpen that up crazy sharp, you can. It's just a chisel edge. So, but I don't sell them. They don't come to you razor sharp. But if you want to take a diamond honing plate and go at it, you could. And you know, either way, that's up to you. If you want to turn it into a knife, more of a knife, that's fine. Not a knife. This is definitely not a knife. So here's some of my other plates I use. Here's some products I'm working on. I'm thinking about making this little guy for like, I don't know, 20 bucks. And again, it's about 4 millimeter tungsten. It's just a solid chunk of tungsten, and it's just, you know, super handy. Here I'm going to do this for no reason, but you can whittle things with this guy. This is just a piece of chalk, which I don't know, I kind of thought was funny, but it does prove a point. You go through and you can see it will file. And then here's some pliers, drop forward or something. Not super nice, I don't think, maybe cobalt, I don't know. But you can take in, let's go, SPR. If you want to draw your name into, or mark your tools, some people do that. I know mechanics, they'll go through and they'll etch their name into their tools. So SP, you can just write on stuff. And again, this is, see if you catch a little Easter egg I got hidden in this. Some people get it, some people won't. I like horror movies, so I was playing with the laser etcher. So if you want to take and draw on glass, let's do my initials, SPR. You can, and you can get as, I'm not, you know what, that's a bad noise. But you can, let's see, oh, there you go, SPR. See if I can do this to the camera. H-E-L-L-O. You can just write on glass. So if you're having my fiance brought this up, if you're having a fancy little dinner, or she likes to do brunch, that's what this is. This is a little brunch cutting board. You can write the name, and she has. You can write the name of your guest right onto the outside of the glass. And her name is, I'm going to use this edge because I don't know, I just like using different edges. Her name is Quinn, and I have bad handwriting. So, boom. And then you just, you know, you brush off the stuff. But, yeah, so you can do that. You can take and use, you know, any of the pokey edges. So any of those, and just, you can just write on stuff, and you can do like a little happy face if you want. Or if you're an artistic person, you could do a rose. Here, I'm gonna draw a rose. So there's that. So I did this the other day. I was cleaning, and this has some, we haven't used this in forever, but it's got a little bit of buildup, and I haven't done this yet, but I'm gonna, there we go. You can just scrape and scrape and scrape. You're gonna want to re-oil that if you have actual cast iron. But this thing, now, can you do that with this? Yes, of course you can. But not as good, and I'm putting way more effort, and if you use this end, you're only getting a little line. So I got this one because it has some corrosion on it and a lot of buildup, and we never use it, so she won't kill me for using one of our beloved cast iron. So I just use, this is cast iron, and I'm dragging this. It's really quick. You know, if you wanted to, you could get in there and really just scrape off everything. Instead of using a power tool, you can get in there and just scrape off everything and re-season your pan. You got to do it every so often sometimes if you don't take good quality care of them. There we go. But even though I just scraped the crap out of that, let's try to scrape some of the wax off this wax paper. Let's see if this works. There you go. And if you want to still cut it, I've drawn on glass. You can open letters with it. You can sharpen your scissors. I do my dishes with it because if my fiance is cooking and she's cutting stuff up and the knives get kind of nasty, I have this sitting down when I do dishes, and I'll come through and I'll give a little courtesy, you know, quick hone, and I'll scrape off any dirt, and so I don't scrub. And again, when we're doing cast iron, if they leave stuff in, which I hate when people leave stuff in, just rinse off your freaking plate or rinse off your freaking pan real quick, wipe it out. But if they do, which they do quite frequently, I go in and I'll scrape that. But yeah, so you just want to put some pressure. You don't want to, this isn't delicate. You're not honing. You're trying to literally take an edge, same as you would with this guy, and you're trying to cut the metal, not grind it. You're cutting. So you're literally using tungsten carbide, which is a ceramic metal, to cut. I'm guessing this is some kind of stainless. Yeah. So this is Epicurious. So you really want to get in there, and then when you're done, just flip it over, hone it a bit, get rid of any burrs, polish up the edge some, and you're done. We never have dull knives at my house. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. But you can take this and come along here and just start cleaning off your other honing stones, which is nice. You can do that. You're not going to damage this tool in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, so it's just a handy little doohickey, and I really like it. And again, we're selling them, and it's a solid piece of tungsten. So tungsten carbide, tungsten cobalt. I've also used this to, I have a Dremel, which, because I tinker constantly. I've used this edge right here, and this to cut down Dremel shafts on the tools to make different tools. But you can clean just about anything you want with this guy. And then you can write, and this is marble, so you can write in just about anything you can get your hands on. And it's not going to damage the tool. This thing's pretty indestructible, except shock. It does not handle shock well. So if you whap this with a hammer, if you're trying to, you know, I don't know, wedge that in with a hammer someplace, because what I do with this little guy here, I've been playing with, is I'm thinking about calling it the Lola. I'm not sure, after my granddaughter. I've taken my shoe or anything hard, another stick, and I've jammed this into a tree, gently, boom, into a tree, and then used this because a magnet will stick to it, and stuck my phone up places to film things. So again, this is going on a bit too long, but this SPR Tungsten Aaron 1 model does not replace these. Absolutely does not replace them. It can if you really want it to. But this is for in the shop. This is for when you're at your desk or your work table or wherever, maybe in your kitchen, like I do with a lot of my stuff. That's what this is for. And they work great. Don't get me wrong. All this stuff works great. This is for when you're out and about and you want to do a bunch of different stuff. Like again, I opened. I have this kind of. We'll cover that up, but you can just go in and yeah, you can do this with a pocket knife, but you're gonna dull the crap out of your pocket knife. If you just want to scrape or clean, oh, you know what else this is good for? If you're careful, you take one of these hard edges. That's a horrible noise. Take one of these hard edges here, and you gently, or the scraper, and you kind of drag it gently. You can clean off your windshield, or not windshield. Well, yeah, you can clean off your windshield if you get gunk on there. Your headlights, you can scrape all the corrosion and the buildup on your headlights. You can clean your headlights, but again, that's plastic. That's really soft. So, but yeah, you can use it to erase mistakes. I use this for so much. It's just, I mean, it's handy. So, I think go through with a little Windex, wipe that up. Oh, look at that, built in. Get rid of rust. If you got rust on your tools, or rust on anything, corrosion, scum, clean your bathtub, yeah, your mirrors, you get stuff on there, and, use that. Yeah, it's a handy tool. I really like it, and I'm sure that if you buy it, you'll think of 1,000,001 reasons to use it. It's kind of like the machete rubber band from Spy Kids, 1,000,001 uses, and you just got to figure out what they are, or 1,001 uses. It's a edgy tool that can sharpen and do just about anything, and it's one of the hardest substances on Earth next to diamond. You have to use diamond to cut this stuff and shape this stuff. So, boom, that's that. Okay, have a great day, guys.